Hello there and welcome back to Satisfactory, yes. We're back on good old Satisfactory, ready for another day, ready for another week even. And back on a modded playthrough. And if you'd like to know what those mods are, the mods list is down in the description section of the video along with a link to Satisfactory Mod Manager, so you can download and install mods for yourself, yes. Okay, so, a couple of things. I am still kind of sick. It definitely has alleviated now, though, for the most part. I am feeling, much better. I still get headaches and a little bit of dizziness, but looks like I am coming off of it, which is great news, for one. For two, some more good news is Update 8 is coming out to early access tomorrow. It won't be on tomorrow's episode because tomorrow's episode will be recorded way before the update goes live, unfortunately. Unless it's like this episode, which is incredibly late. Apologies for that, by the way. I was busy getting caught up on the news and stuff of the day for this game and doing some slight experiments on my save here, just a little bit, and whatnot. So, it is what it is. But anyway, the current time on our save is 949 hours, 30 minutes, 45 seconds. just let you know. Before we do go any further, I would like to say that I do hope you all had yourselves a great weekend, and hopefully you're refreshed and ready to start the week. I mean, I know that's not always the case, but that's the way it is sometimes. Sometimes you feel like you're ready, and sometimes you feel like you don't. You're just kind of meh, like me, a lot of the time. I am happy to not be sick anymore, of course. So yeah, great news though. Like I said, Update 8 is coming out November 14th, which is tomorrow, which is awesome. Can't wait for that. And also, that's the reason why I was watching that video. That's the reason why I'm so late on this episode as well. As I couldn't exactly cover the update on Friday. For one, I didn't even know what happened, and for two, even if I did, I would not be able to cover it because I was incredibly sick all weekend. I am still sick a little bit. My sinuses are still a little clogged, so it's like the sickness, but it's in less. So you take the sickness that I have now, whatever it might be, and you dial it down. A few notches, like many notches actually. And it's still there, but it's just like I feel much better now, at least. So another thing is there's going to be something very, very special in this episode for the mods. So you might have noticed if you paid attention to the description at all, you might have noticed in the description that the description shows a lot of mods on hold. The reason we're going to do this is because the Update 8 is going to be released very, very shortly. So we're going to start kind of future-proofing this save. I was going to do it by myself and just let you guys see the end results of it, but then that wouldn't really make for a great episode on the update itself or anything like that. I don't know. I just felt like you guys should be able to be a part of kind of that process itself. So maybe this can help you in the future. I'm not gonna say that I'm doing a tutorial or anything. You know how I am with that. It's just like I'm not doing a tutorial. Don't worry about it. So that's basically what we're gonna do. Is I've already put most of the mods on hold, except for the smart mod, obviously, and some of the decoration mods where I've done decorations. I do not want to put those mods on hold because I know exactly what's going to happen, and that is the items are going to disappear. The one mod I did put on hold, though, where there is items within the game, is the post people, because that's not integral to the way the game looks, really. It's also not integral to, as you remember, there was a man standing here, but it's no longer here. It's not integral to how the game functions either, how it looks, how it functions really. So I was proud to put that on hold. Same with the covered belts mod, that is completely gone as well. not completely gone. I shouldn't say completely gone. The mods have been put on hold. And literally in Satisfactory Mod Manager, if you do not know, you can put mods on hold. You can press the play button and it turns into a pause button, and that just pauses the mod. Like it deactivates it, but it doesn't uninstall it. It's still there. It just deactivates it. The only problem with doing this is, though, with items that you place in the world, if you do happen to do that and then you load up the save, those items are going to disappear. And it doesn't matter if they're on pause, doesn't matter if you uninstalled the mod, those items are gone forever. Now, if you turn the mod back on before you save and you reload the save where the items were still there, then obviously they're gonna come back. One example of this is the trains. The trains you see going around here. These trains weren't here about 30 minutes ago. I loaded up the world without the trains mod activated because I wanted to see if that would work. I kind of knew it'd work, but I think I've tested it a little bit before, but I wanted to give it another test, and yes, so the trains were gone for a short period of time, and that's actually what today's episode is going to be kind of focused on. It's going to be focused on the trains in this world. Now, one thing I did notice, let me go ahead and hit the tilde key, and we're going to type in stat FPS, and then we're going to hit enter. Now that's going to put an FPS counter in the top right. Well, kind of the top right over there. You can see the FPS kind of bouncing all over. Obviously, the massive size of the world and everything that's going on definitely attributes to that FPS drop. One thing I did notice, though, is when all the trains were gone, the modded trains, my FPS skyrocketed quite a bit. I mean, it still wasn't perfect, but it still wasn't a perfect 60 FPS, but it was massively improved, which has to do with entities. So entities in this game result in, or are usually composed of, I should say, kind of, the vehicles. So any vehicles that you add to the world, those vehicles are in the world, and they have their own kind of calculations on how everything works for them and stuff when they're in constant motion. It definitely lags the game a bit. Okay. So, and a great example of this is if you've ever heard the channel Let's Game It Out. If you've ever watched that, he did play Satisfactory at one point. He did quite a few videos on it, I think. Of course, he's akin to chaos, so he loves bringing chaos to games. He loves breaking games. That's the kind of YouTuber he is. I don't know him personally. Unfortunately, I would love to, but that's never going to happen. But yes, if you've ever watched him, when he did a certain episode where he made 1 million of these tractors, these things right here, and put them in a giant pit together, they were moving around constantly. They were bugging out and whatnot. Now, obviously, that was an earlier version of the game. I'd imagine something similar would still happen, though, where the game would lag incredibly hard. The FPS would just crap its pants because just the sheer amount of vehicles and the sheer amount of data that the game is processing through your CPU would be the cause of the FPS drop. Same with what's going on right now. The exact reason that's going on right now is the amount of vehicles the game is keeping track of is all these trains and all their cargo. And of course, this is also might be attributed to the fact that the mod might be not as optimized as the actual trains in the game. So that's what we're going to be testing today. What we're going to do is if I go to my saved games list here, you see we've got 3 different saves. We got the auto saves, and then we've got the main save that's the hard save. When I go to exit the game, I save it, and then I always have a hard save in case the all 3 auto saves fail, which is statistically kind of very, very impossible, unless it would have to be extraneous circumstances for that to happen. Like maybe the game, every time the game saved, it lagged so bad that it corrupted the data every single time. And that would happen as well with the hard save. It wouldn't make a difference. But yeah, but I still like to do the hard save just to be safe. Yeah, you can see this FPS drop, especially while we're moving in a train. You know, this FPS is incredibly, incredibly high. Well, incredibly low is what I'm at. So, like I said, what we're going to be testing today is we're going to be removing these trains eventually. We're going to be removing them basically one by one with the actual trains of the game itself. This way, this eliminates the possibility of the mod being the reason, or will reveal that the mod is the reason that it's so laggy. But yeah, as soon as I load it in without the train mod on, it immediately was notice a difference. I had very good FPS, very good loading. Things actually ran decently well. So that's what we're going to be doing. I'm not exactly sure. I don't have a super plan for how I'm going to do this. The only thing I'm going to try to do is try to replace these trains with more trains, of course. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove those trains for a while. So basically, let me show you what I mean when I load it up without the mods. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save the game, and then we're going to disable the train mod, and I'm going to show you our baseline FPS kind of experiment. The other main reason you're probably wondering, why are you doing this? Why don't you just do what you normally do? The main reason I'm doing this is because the update 8 is coming out, and we need to not only future-proof this save to where we can run without mods, because most of the mods that I have don't work on update 8, especially update 8.2 is what they're calling it. And that update 8 is coming up real fast. We didn't, until 3 days ago, until Friday, we didn't have a release date for the update 8 coming out to early access. And once it comes out to early access, that's it. You could probably go back to update 7, or if you just refuse to update the game. But you're going to have to update at some point, right? And we're going to update to update 8 as soon as the update comes out to early access. So that's going to be Wednesday is going to be our first look into update 8, because I have refused to look until they had it ready for early access. Obviously, there's still going to be some bugs and stuff like that, teething problems, but they wanted it to be way less this time, which is the reason they're doing that this way. So anyway, like I said, most of the mods are disabled. The only mods that that's gonna suck, obviously, is having to play this game without Micromanager and without the smart mod, at least for a little while. As far as I know, they still don't work on update 8. I could be wrong about that. I might look again, but anyway, yeah. So let's go ahead and give ourselves a save, and then we're going to but we're going to do a new save, by the way. We're going to do a new save, and then we're going to load in. Okay, and there's our new save right there. We've got YouTube save update 8. I'm just going to call it update 8 because that's what we're going to be moving forward with from now on. We're going to keep this save just in case major things go wrong. We need to turn all those mods back on, and we need to load a save back to where everything was as it is now. That's basically the issue there. That's also why I'm not making too much progress, because if I make a whole lot of progress and then I have to revert back, I lose all that progress, and then I got to do it again, and that's just not fun, repeating the same progress over and over and over. So anyway, let's go ahead and load up that that save without the trains mod. All right, and now welcome to the silence that is my world. Holy freaking crap. As you can see... Okay, now we got our music going again. As you can see, I have loaded up this save, same time, basically. With... Look at that FPS. It's now in the 40s, 50s. It's still a little laggy from time to time. Like I said, it's not perfect. Obviously, there is still a lot going on. But it does stable out for the most part. Before, just sitting still was like, didn't do anything, and moving definitely slowed it down, which it still does here, but in less quantities, which is really interesting. I do want to go to the city center, which is the most laggy place there was. Like around this area, I would get 5, 10, 15 on the max end FPS, which was just crazy. You know, obviously things are still working. We're still, you know, certain things are still being manufactured. Well, some things, probably nothing actually, to be honest. Everything might be on hold right now because we're not producing anything more. That's also why that area right there is low. And then look, it flies up, follows the roof line almost, and flies up and over. And then he's gonna go this way, and I'll show you why this roof is the way it is, why this roof has been designed the way it is. That is exactly why, how close he flies to that. I didn't want him to be clipping, at least not too much. But yeah, as you can see, every single train has been completely removed from the world. Now, what does this mean? This means a few things. Obviously, our factory is going to shut down. Anything that was producing anything is not going to be producing anything anymore. Once it runs out, a buffer, if there was a buffer of items, inside the train station, inside of tanks. Obviously, the oil is going to last, like my crude oil. It's going to last for a very long time. I've got underground storage tanks, and then I've also got this massive... actually, do we have any underground storage, or did we remove all that? Actually, we might have removed all that, but we've got this massive oil tower that's going to pump out of those train stations up this tower, and there's a huge amount of storage in there. Basically, this is the biggest circle you can build in Satisfactory without the ends coming apart, basically. So the foundations touch at the corners on each angle from one angle to the next before they start going apart, and then you'd have to add another layer somehow. But anyway. Yeah, no trains. No trains whatsoever. Now, obviously, when we start adding trains, it's probably going to add the lag back in, but I'd want to do a little bit of an experiment. And don't matter about that stutter right there. Basically, what that stutter means is that's me connecting and disconnecting from power. So we're going to be going back to Lagtastic land. What I'm going to do is I'm going to reload the save with the trains mod back on, and then what we're going to do is we're going to place more trains, but we're going to place the Satisfactory approved trains and see if that lowers the FPS any further, or and if it doesn't matter if it does or doesn't, but then we're going to we're going to remove the other trains as well. So basically, I'm going to probably use the train yard. We're going to figure out how many trains we have, and then we're going to... I need to probably extend that train yard, but I don't know if I'll do that today. I might just place the trains wherever I can in order to get them replaced. So basically, we're going to be taking all the trains, and we're going to be duplicating them up here. So actually, what I probably might do is I might just manually drive all the trains to this area up here, to the train yards, and then copy them from there. That might be easier, rather than flying around to each location while the train is running and trying to copy it. Cause havoc. Might just park all the trains. So, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. And so basically I'm not going to start from here when I reload. I'm going to start back to where I was when I brought you guys back in. So anyway, let's go ahead and turn that train mod back on and watch the FPS go from this to this. This is our current FPS. Oh, whoops. To this. There we go. So anyway, this is our FPS counter now, as you can see. We were getting around 30, 40, maybe around 50s. Or no, we were getting around 40, 50, 60. Just by standing in this exact spot. Around the 50s mainly, but as you can see now, with all the trains running, we've got 20 FPS. And, you know, as a high, maybe 20. Can we eke out 25? Ooh, it was close. It was like 23. 20, I seen a 24 in there, I think. Anyway, and about 40-some milliseconds worth of latency, probably. I don't think that's related to internet. I think that's just related to the game. Like, it's going to be latency a little bit because of the lag. But anyway, actually, you don't really notice much. I don't know what the milliseconds are, to be completely honest with you. I thought maybe that was latency, but anyway. So we're going to start capturing trains. Of course. We need to manually drive these trains up to... Oh my gosh, that was laggy as heck. We need to manually drive these trains. We'll go left here. Up to the rail yard. We need to start just collecting trains. I'm going to go right here. I'm going to use this train station probably a lot as a turnaround spot, so I might leave one of these train stations open at all times, unless we capture the train early, of course. Oh, and one thing I did forget to do: turn the music back on. Look at that lag spike as well. I'm actually really curious too, like, let me on the train, please. I don't want to configure the freight platform. Oh, there we go. I want to drive the modded train. So the other thing I want to experience here is, with all the trains deactive, or not activated, because I'm just going to park all the trains first, will that up the FPS? That's my other kind of test here. Because I've been thinking about this type of stuff with the trains and whatnot for quite a while. And it's just like, would this kind of stuff actually have a positive effect on the FPS by the trains not being able to move? Or would it just be... or would it just be just the mere presence of the trains and the cargo they carry be the factor here as well? So we're going to be doing a few different tests, of course. Yeah, we're just going to be capturing all the trains today. Obviously, you're not going to watch me capture these one by one, but I'm going to show you the first train at least, which is this lonely copper train here. One of the two, I think. We got 2 copper trains. Or do we have 3? We might have 3. I'm actually not sure. But I do want to capture all the copper trains. We might even have to make extra rails just to fit this all in there. There's our battery, by the way. So we're going to stay straight, obviously, with the left. Honestly, I think it shouldn't be left or right, more or less. Like, if it detects a straight rail, maybe it should be straight. I'm not really sure. It might not work. You can't even see the switch signal there, but then again, it doesn't matter because all these trains are driven by computers anyway. So we're going to park this on the left side because That's where the copper is. And like I said, this is also the perfect time to do this kind of stuff because there is no what do you call it? What do you call it? There is nothing being produced right now. Everything that, well, I mean, there is kind of. There is still some factory stuff going on because of the fused modular frames. But that's really the only takeaway at that point. Okay, so we're gonna put this in the proper thing. I'm gonna have to keep pressing left until I want to go right. There we go. And as you can see, the proper train is going into the proper... Now, we used to have trains up here full of stuff, but I removed all those because I thought it would help with the lag, which it didn't really do because the trains weren't moving. So I'm wondering if this experiment might not even help. If it'll help at all, or if it'll just be the same. Anyway, so yeah, let's go capture ourselves another train. Looks like the sulfur train might be our winner here, because it's already there. Like, I can see it. And plus, that sulfur train does drive a long way, so we're gonna immediately fly over here and capture it. I forgot to remove these. Those pipes are still there, even though they don't connect to anything. It's kind of funny how I just leave stuff like that. Alright, let's go park this train. Now this train, we are going to have to park it on the outskirts of this because I don't have a sulfur parking spot. I don't have a parking spot for sulfur. I never planned that far ahead, which I should have, but that's okay. This is extendable. We'll probably be using Satisfactory calculator to do that. That would be the fastest way. We could also use the micromanage mod, but I think the other one would be much faster. But, I'm just going to spam left until we get to the end. As you can see, we don't have a spot for this. We got as far as quartz train, and that's as far as it went. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to park this all the way at the end before it goes into the intersection. So that way we have enough room to park these trains without getting in their way. And just basically future-proofing so I don't have to move the trains later. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to put this to the right, and then we're not going to go any further. Just park this train here. We're probably going to end up using all these spots because I've added way more trains. Looks like the next train to capture our attention is the coal train. This one's the nuclear power plant. Turn off self-driving. This one doesn't need to go to the... Well, I might leave these specific trains. Now you can keep going. Right here. Yeah, you can go to the nuclear power plant. That does make sense. You are the coal train for which? Coal mine alpha, coal station. I think that one goes for the other power plant. Okay, so now I've introduced an interesting dilemma. This isn't needed. Come here. But yeah, basically what I've introduced is a very interesting dilemma here. Is what trains to turn off first. And what trains to leave alone until the end, or whatnot. So... Yeah, we do have a spot for this water train. Come on, get the power. Up. There we go. Because if we turn off all the trains, if we just start grabbing every single train we see, we're going to cause a lot of issues. Obviously, the fuel train needs to stay running at all times. The oil train could stay running for a long time as well. But eventually, at some point, we're going to have to shut them down. But any other train that delivers any other materials, we have a huge backup of stuff that's going to be able to help us with all this. So this is what buffers are made for. We need to do the switch quick enough between trains. I just did a switch between trains, modded trains and not modded trains. We need to do that swap over quickly enough so that we don't cause too many issues. We let those buffers kind of just kind of play out. And as long as we're pumping in more materials than we need, then we should be fine. Okay, this one should have a clear channel. It does. Even though the train is kind of sticking out a little bit, it's fine. Yeah, I think the coal power plant might need to be shut down. The reason I'm going to shut down the coal power plant is because its buffer is only with water. The coal does not really have a buffer other than the train station itself, and it runs out really quickly without coal being delivered constantly to it. I might even phase out the water trains that come up that way, because the amount of water has been kind of revolutionized by this. So it's like we might even phase out, but I want to do all the trains first in this experiment first before I go and do that. So you know what I need to do? Actually, no, I can't do that. I wish I could turn this all off to where it just doesn't use resources, but that's okay. Actually, it'd probably be faster to do it from the roof. Yeah, that's not realistic, but we can access these via the chimneys. So let me get these all turned off real quick. Okay, that's all of them shut down completely. How much power did we lose? I want to check real quick. We actually didn't lose all that much. I mean, we lost a fair bit, but... Uh-oh. I also see a problem. We're not producing any power from the plant. From our nuclear power plant over there. That island is not producing power. You know how I know? Because of how close it is to the production. This line right here should be overtaking this blue line. So it's not. And I know exactly why it's not. And we're going to go fix that right now. So, yeah, let's go to the nuclear power plant island. My favorite part of this. This has been one of my most favorite builds of all time. Other than the city itself, of course. I've definitely enjoyed this, especially all of these power poles and such. Alright, and welcome to Power Plant Island. Or Nuclear Power Plant Island. I haven't really named it. Actually... Oh, I know why we're not producing. Oh my gosh, this radiation city over here. I know why we're not producing what we should be. Is because because I turned a lot of these off, which makes sense. And this is actually really good for what we're doing right now. That means we can shut down Nuclear Power Plant Island at any time. We can shut down the trains and still get, don't worry, I have a radiation suit, and still get power because we still have these built up. I completely forgot about that. But anyway, let's check on progress in here. How full are we getting? We've got 2 train stations full so far, which is actually good, even though the barrels are coming in like they are. Look how they alternate between inputs and outputs. That's actually very interesting that it does that. It does the top one, then the bottom one if they're both connected. Strange. Anyway, yeah, these are completely full, and we do have a site that we do dump these. which people are just like, what? You have that? You have a site where you dump nuclear waste? It's just like, well, kinda. I have a bunker that I built. And we're still producing things. And we still have not filled up on these yet. In a lot of the areas. I'm actually curious if I turn one off. Wait. So this one's full, this one's full. This one's full. This one's full, and this one's full. Interesting. I wonder if it can never build up a full stock of it, because we just don't have enough uranium coming in. Because this uranium eventually runs out. I've seen the trains that come through here, the uranium trains, and they do not produce what they should produce. But yeah, I am really curious. If I do turn off both of these, will it go straight to battery power? Because we have battery power stored up. So I believe we're using the center ones right now only. Not those. These ones? Yeah, these ones are not on. Never mind. It is these ones. Okay. So, which ones are running? Is it the end ones here? Or is it ones further down? It's further down. And you can see the barrels coming out. Is it these ones? No. No power, no power. No power. No power. What the heck? No power. Oh, we got power on this one. Do we only have one running it right now? I think we do. Yeah, as soon as we turn that off, we go immediately to battery power. Okay. And we've got about three hours worth of power with the amount of batteries. Okay, so we do need to keep that going. Looks like it's always full of water. That's good. How come it never puts one? Oh no, this is the waste slot. Never mind. As you can see, that slight dip was just a mistake. So, yeah. But we have enough. If we need to jumpstart the system, we absolutely can. But we do have a buffer of rods on that line. So we're just going to leave that one on. But we're going to stop sending trains into here. We're going to start turning these trains off for right now. So any train that tries to come through that area, we might take down. Yeah, here's all of our batteries, by the way. And they're all full. Every single one of them. You can see that drop on there. On the radar. Yeah, we're just skimming over. Yeah, everybody's full. This whole entire battery network. 100 batteries here. That's how many batteries we have on the roof of this thing. Which is pretty insane. And yeah, same pattern there. So I know that everything's connected, basically. I'm surprised that much stored power and we'd still only last 3 hours without assistance. However, I think I am going to let this island run. And continue to run, and we'll shut down everything else. That goes to everything else first, and then we'll, as a last resort, we'll come to this or not a last resort, as a final effort, we'll come to this island and then start removing all the trains from there. But we'll let the uranium trains run, and we'll let all of these trains, other than the uranium trains and the sulfur train, the rest of these, or in the coal train too, the rest of the iron and the copper, and the uranium waste is all on its own network. The other thing I wanted to do was I wanted to eliminate, eventually I want to eliminate the uranium trains coming in on these main lines here. And come in their own way, but that's just the way it is. But yeah, anything that says that, then we're going to remove that. The other thing we got to be aware of too is running out of bauxite is going to be a bit of a problem. There's one of the uranium trains. See, they're always empty. They always got like one car in it. One car that's never full. Yeah, and the fuel train is going to run until the very end. This one right here. That one has to run. It almost can't stop because there can't be any downtime for fuel. I mean, there can be. There could be a little bit, but that fuel won't last very long because of how fast it is. How fast it runs out. But anyway, let's start capturing trains, shall we? And our first victim is this coal train right here. Was not expecting me to come out of the shadows and take him. Yeah, this one goes to the coal power plant. So this train is no longer needed. The coal power plant's deactivated. We no longer need this one. This one can go right into its parking spot, which it actually does have a parking spot. I think I have 2 coal train parking spots as well. You know what I think we might do is we might shut down the aluminum factory, like fully shut it down. Because that might be beneficial. So that we're not wasting the stored up resources of bauxite and water. I mean, water doesn't matter. We got a massive tank, but it's just like it might be useful. I do need to, eventually I need to run a water line down that way. So that we're relying on this rather than relying on what's in that train station. Yeah, let's go shut down the aluminum scrap factory. I am also going to be adding this system to these factories, so that we can connect and disconnect power. So as you can see, everything just turned on. I'm going to shut it down. Yeah, we're going to shut down our factories over here, ones that continuously produce. Now this is going to affect our fuel production as well, but hopefully not as bad. Also, I was wondering about these power poles. Why do these power poles exist? It's because I want to see the amount of pressure? Or, no, this one actually goes down here for some reason and connects somewhere. What the? Oh, this one actually goes down that way. Okay. I'm fine with that, whatever it wants to do. Oh, there's no power here anymore, so I can't even use my pack. Oh, that's a bit of an... No, never mind. Ain't too much of an issue. Yeah, I completely forgot that since there's no power, both of these factories are deactivated, I bet. Yeah, both of these factories are completely deactivated. Okay, well, at least we know it works. But we do gotta walk around here right now. So now we're going to shut down... we should be able to shut down both factories with one switch, huh? Maybe. Okay. That's for the oil factory, or for the rubber factory, anyway. Now we should be able to turn this off and shut down our production of rubber as well. This will also help mitigate the amount of oil usage like from the actual tank, although it could run for a lot longer. Now we do need to go back to the center so I can get on top of this building. There we go. So yeah, now a lot of stuff is off. So yeah, this did turn off this other factory here too, which makes sense. Which is just fine with me, to be honest. But that did not turn off any other factories, which I am happy about. The only thing I am worried about, I think, if I remember right, we might be running out of iron right now. Because this power pole goes underneath here. So if this isn't powered, which it isn't, okay. Alright, so I guess we'll just have to deal with that. Because I don't have any other solution right now. Because if I backfeed it, I guess it backfeed into the other factories, but yeah, we're just going to go ahead and run a power line then. We'll just run a power line directly to that power pole there. We need to disconnect it from there so that it doesn't do anything else. Okay, this should be connected. Yeah, I can hear the miners going down there again. Okay. Yeah, so that did turn off the power for that. That's fine. Yeah, there the miners go. Okay. So those factories are now shut down, which means we can shut down the trains that come in this side too. Because there's no reason for them anymore. Which is okay. Looks like water train O is coming in. So we're going to let it drop off its load if there was any, and then we're going to take her to the to the station. Now then, from here, we're going to have to be very, very careful about our rail network, because the rail network up here is not designed really to handle 10-car trains. Other than past the fuel train, everything else is 5-car from there. So we've got a big old 10-car water train that doesn't ever take this way. So we're going to need to be figuring that out as well. I have Caterium going somewhere. Oh, to the Caterium. Okay, yeah, that's right. It's like, where's that Caterium going? I built so much that I can't remember where half the crap goes anymore and what it's doing. That's the reason why I can't just remove all the trains and then put all brand new trains in. That's just not possible. Because I won't remember what train goes where. So we're going to have to copy the trains first, and then we can start removing them. So again, we're going to go left here. We should be able to. But this time we're going to go right. Because we need to store this into one of the sheds there. One of the parking sheds for 10-car trains. This side of the rail yard had to be so much bigger. Of course, there might come a point where I would want to move these rail yards. I don't know, though. Because we do have room down there to the east. Kind of, I suppose. Whoa! Wrong way, wrong way. Stop! 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 I know. People are just like, you can't stop a train. Yeah, if people know, you know trains can't stop on a dime. They also can't move on a dime either. It takes an incredible amount of power just to move a train a lot of the time. Like the trains I have around where I live, these trains are usually anywhere between half a mile to a mile long. kind of. That I say kind of because obviously not every train's going to be either a half a mile or anywhere between that. Some can be longer, some can be shorter. Just depends on the train. But a lot of the trains around here are very, very long. At least you're talking half a mile, mile long trains. And when they come in to exchange cars, drop off cars, unload cars, pick up cars, things like that, to either go to the next state over or to go back, things like that. It's an incredibly long process, and these trains usually, they take an incredible amount of power. I mean, you hear them trains like spool up. And what I mean by spool up, I mean you do hear it like, you know, it's like a jet, or like a big old Boeing 747. Do we not have a spot for water? 10-car train water? No, I never built one. Okay, I know we need both the oil trains, but we only have one fuel train, so I'm going to take up one of the fuel train bays then. Because we only will have one fuel train going, and that's all we need, so we can just store this in here. Now that should fit the whole 10-car train in here. Which it does seem to do. I did build them to fit. Okay, let's go capture us another train. We got our next victim here. Stop! Oh, whoops. Turn off. Oh, we'll just make a turnaround. I mean, this one, Coal Mine Bravo, Coal Station Bravo. So this one does not. This one does not go to the nuclear power plant, which I didn't think it did. It came out of that tunnel, so. Oh! That was close. It's not gonna be fun. Bye, crew world. What are the odds? Two coal trains end up meeting. So two coal trains meet in an intersection. Whee! Too funny. Love it when you re-rail one train and it just makes the other one fly away. Too funny. Okay, now that this one's out of the way, let's re-rail this one. This one goes towards the nuclear power plant. So turn on self-driving. Goodbye. Okay, and parking our second coal train. I think we actually got 3, to be honest. Okay, next. And here's our next victim. Get him! You've been hijacked. Stop. Back up. Just imagine me having a gun. Oh my gosh. It looked like it took like 40 some megawatts just to move backwards. Yeah. Even though most of the load was still up on the flat. Interesting. Some more interesting piece of info. It's one of many quartz trains that we have. We have 3, I believe. Let's see. parking our next train. Okay. Also, I just thought about it, and I was like, yeah, I gotta let this sulfur train go for right now. Just because it's the nuclear power plant one. I thought it was my other sulfur train. For some reason. I don't know why. So we're just going to turn on self-driving and then just going to let her go. Just let her head back to where she goes there. Now this one's the Caterium train, I believe. Yeah, for the nuclear power plant. Okay. So if we want to capture more trains, we got to go down this way. Where that train just took a hard right. Oh look, a lovely iron train. Come here. I love how it pauses. So, just imagine this is what a high-speed train robbery is going to be like in the future. Just going to be people just going to be hopping onto these autonomous trains and just robbing them. All right, and then parking our next train, which is iron. Very, very nice. Let's go ahead and park it up a little further. Okay. And as for our next victim, this copper train, it was stopped here at the light, so we're just going to use one of the stations to turn around and take it back. And parching our next train. Parking our next train. The second copper train here. Very, very nice. That one is now well, that one's really far back. Okay, we'll get that train in there. So that's the sulfur train. The other thing I gotta figure out is what am I going to do about the trains that never come into the city. We're going to be doing a lot of back and forth. And as for our next victim, the nitrogen gas train. Right. And we're just going to continue this speed and take her back to the yard. So laggy. I don't know why I just did that. No, don't crush me. I should have left it going all by itself. Or I should have just, like, went straight. For some reason I switched the track even though there was a train in my way. Because I am an idiot. Let's re-rail you. And send you back on your way. Because you are... Yep, nuclear power plant. Right, get out of here. That was fun. Especially with a nitrogen gas train. The heck is wrong with me? Talk about fun. I mean, I don't know. Is nitrogen a... Well, of course it is. Never mind. What am I talking about? Okay. That's the nitrogen gas train. Parked. For right now, anyway. Hopefully I don't cause any more accidents. And our next victim, Mr. Coltrane 3. Hello there. Oh, I can't believe I made that. It would have gone left from there. Can't believe I made that turn. Nice. We also can't forget about a very certain train. This was one of the very first trains we ever made. This one has been running this internal tiny little circuit for ever for almost 1,000 hours. We'll say, I don't know, say 900. Okay, we're just gonna roll on through. Just let me go. I think we've gotten rid of all the trains that come down this way. I think this is the last one that's in this kind of underground area. Is over the Caterium train, maybe? I don't know if we've captured that one yet. Guess we'll have to see. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. That's not how that's supposed to work. Am I missing a track here? Quite potentially. Yeah, I'm missing a track. Why is this connected here? This, oh, because this one's a dual rail for the Caterium, I see. This one little section is a dual rail. That's why it's connected. Alright, then I guess I have no choice but to go this way. Used to be able to go from here back up that way, but you can't anymore. I know why I removed that too, was to remove the amount of traffic going through the power station. Of course, that rail network might need to just be removed because it doesn't ever get used anymore. As far as I know, like there's no reason why I need that connection anymore. Because this serves the same purpose. This one here, it's just this one's a little bit longer. Interesting. So we only have one limestone train. I think that's it. That's the only train we've ever had. We might have needed to acquire a second one, but also with the power of Mark III miners, that we might be phasing out some trains too. That's our next one there. And our next victim, the bauxite train. The 10-car bauxite train. Very crazy. Let's go ahead and turn off self-driving. There we go. Deactivated. Our next victim. Hello there, Mr. Oil Train. You've been hijacked. Let's go back to the yard, get you sold off. I'm just kidding. Uh-oh, I spy trouble. Well, it's already reserved the intersection, so it was set to let it happen. And I love how it just explodes. Ah, so good. Okay, we're gonna... Jeez. Goes out that fuel. Also, I'm going the wrong way with that train anyway. Okay, get going. Get out of my sight. Oh, you're not gonna move? Really? Because this train is in the way, huh? Well, that's unfortunate. Gonna have to wait then. That was pretty funny though. I was just like, oh, it's coming up the hill. So I already reserved the intersection. Honestly, it would have been fine if I would have went the right way. And parked. Yeah, let's go. Oh look, our next victim. Caterium train. I think this is the right one anyway. train B is still making its way here. Deuterium train nuclear plant. Okay, good. The one in front of us, I think, is what it is. And parked. All right. And we don't have a spot for the deuterium trains either. Okay, so I actually have a little bit of an idea. Is if I park this deuterium train, which was one of the kind of inbound ones, kind of the inner loop, on this area. Where is it? Right there. So this inner loop here. What if every single train that I come across along the network, I just send to this station here? So basically what I'd do is I'd edit the timetable, and then I would select the sulfuric acid factory, and just add that to each timetable of each train that I come across. So then I capture every single train that tries to come in here. Like the sulfur train, for instance. That one has been eluding me for a little bit, but yeah, I finally was able to capture it. So, yeah. And then no trains will be able to continue their route because this particular train station is already blocked. So let's give it a go. See how many trains we can pile up here. Alright, and our first train has arrived. One of the ones we modified. I'm just gonna go ahead and move you up so we can get the rest of the trains. Yep, this is a bauxite train that's not supposed to be here, but it'll work perfectly. We're just gonna pile up all the trains here. Pretty funny though, I could just send them to this station for no reason. Up. I love that all the trains just came to me. Look at this. Look at this mess. A whole lot of train. Pretty funny, actually. I'm just trying to park them as best I can in here for right now. Until we're ready to move them all. I think I can fit maybe one more train on this line here. Before we have to start taking them to the rail yard. This does give me a bit of a perspective of how many trains we need, or how many trains we have, though. Oh yeah, so this train right here as well. Need to park this one. Let's see, have we taken off the sulfur? Turn off self-driving. Yep. It's just been adding that to every train. Alright, in we... I even captured the other oil train up in this mess as well. He's just been sitting here waiting. Can't get to that. Take that off. Make sure to save changes. Okay. Alright, I guess we can just start parking now then. Alright, so a little known fact. Just real quick, I just discovered this after however many hours. Let's take a step back and let me say what's wrong with this picture between these three trains. Like, wait a minute, this train seems to be pulled forward more than the others. Alright, well, let's test out that theory. It's got two engines, just like everyone else. It's pulled exactly the same as the other trains. How did I never notice that this particular oil train was missing a train car this entire time? And I never do it. Ow! So this entire time it was a 9-car train. I don't know if that happened through a bug, probably from me. Just forgetting. or not counting correctly. That's the only explanation I can come up with, but that is pretty funny. Still a lot of lag though, even though most of the trains are disabled. So I'm wondering if it's a mod thing. Once all the trains get stopped, then we can truly test. But it might be a mod thing. At least it's starting to seem like it. I guess we'll see. Alrighty then. That didn't take freaking 2 hours. Like an hour and a half, maybe. Oh my gosh, I can't believe actually how long that took to park all my trains. But yeah, we're parking the field train right now, the very last train that is running on the entire map. There we go. Every single train has been parked. Sweet. Very nice. Yeah. Every single bay is taken up by trains. I parked both both those inbound trains kind of in here for the bauxite as well. We'll head over here. It's faster to do this than to fly. I don't know why the pack is so slow, but that is what it is. Every single bay is taken up over here. So the extra bays we had, I put some of the Caterium trains in there. And then we've got all these trains out here, parked along this section and that section. And of course all them there. Okay. And then also, over at the nuclear power plant island, all the trains have been parked. The nuclear waste train is always parked. We got the two uranium trains there. And then all these trains, I just parked them in their stations so that we could save time and save room in here. Now, I've waited the nuclear power plant trains. I just kind of waited for them to come to their station to drop off and then snagged them there. That would just make things easy. So yeah, if we look at our map here, that's just a normal train. So we've got, those are the super long trains, and then we've got all the short trains, and then those trains, and that's it. Every single other train is gone off the map. So now we're going to fly over here to this area, to where we're doing our test, and we're going to see what the FPS is there, averaging out. Sorry, there's no music, but I'm going to have to be making a lot of cuts and stuff in here, and it'd be annoying to only get like a few notes and then a few more notes and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure it's going to be really annoying to edit. It's going to take a while to do this episode. I'm pretty sure this one's going to be extremely late today, just because of the sheer amount of stuff I've done. I mean, it's already, I don't know why I said I was sure it's going to be late. It already is late. It already is, now that I look at the time. Okay. So then over here, let's see what our average FPS is. Okay, this is going to go under the all but not running category, essentially. So I'm going to have 4 different categories here. We're going to have no trains at all. We're going to have modded trains, or modded all trains running, and then we're going to have all trains, but all those modded trains but not running. And then we're going to have all the fix-it approved trains. That'll be the last category. And it looks like the FPS is averaging about 20 to 30. We'll say. That's what it's looking like. I mean, it is going about 35 sometimes, but it is dropping into the 20s. So we'll say 20 to 30. Okay, so that's what we wanted to test for. So basically, in conclusion here for this test, very strange for me to do this kind of thing, but so with no trains at all, we were getting about 50 to 60 FPS. Occasionally it dropped to 40, but on the high end it was anywhere between 50 and 60. So I was just going to take that as the average. All the modded trains running, standing here, we're about 15 to 20 FPS. And we're still dropping. Look at that. Still about 25 to 30. So that's why I put 20 to 30 as well. So we know without any trains at all, we get the most. That's just because the entities, probably the cargo has something to do with it as well. How much is in each train, car, and all that. And then all the modded trains running, we get the worst, which is 15 to 20. And then all the trains are here in the game, but they're not running at all. They're just sitting there. So we know that motion, and now it's dropping again. That could be something to do with some of the factories going. Maybe one of the factories turned on for some reason. We'll see. Um, that it does have something to do with that. Um, that motion does play a part, but it seems to play a small part because with the trains running, we're getting 15 to 20, and without the trains running, it's 20 to 30. So we may get 10, 15 FPS gain with the trains stopped. So now, well, not now, but next time, because this episode is already long already and it's already late, we're going to go ahead and send this one out once it's all done, of course. I don't know how long that's going to take today. We shall see. It's going to take a while to get it all ready to go for you guys to be seeing this right now. So, hello, future people. Just kidding. So next time, tomorrow, we're going to be working on replacing every single train and then testing to see what it's like with every single train going. That's a fix-it approved train. Since I have to wait till next time, but that's okay. We can wait till tomorrow, and then Wednesday, like I said, Wednesday, we're going to be officially on update 8. Whether this experiment works out in our favor or not does not matter. We're still going to go into update 8, and there's going to be a lot of changes. Now, we could potentially lose this game here. We could potentially have to shut this game down right now. This is as much progress as we're going to make because we have to start a new game with update 8. Now, we shouldn't have to, but given the state of things, we might have to. Just throwing it out there as a possibility. I'm not going to do that unless it's absolutely the last option. I want to finish this game so we can move on to Season 4. But Season 3, I need to finish Season 3 out by finishing the Phase 4 because that's the last bit. But yeah, looking forward to Update 8 though, and if everything all works out well, then it'll be really good. But that is all. That's going to be it for this episode of Satisfactory. So I do hope you enjoyed, and until next time, I guess I'd say goodbye.